have to tell you guys about this disastrous wax experience that I had. And please tell me if this has happened to you, if this is normal, because I was so shocked. Like, I was so shocked. So anyway, I got a Brazilian wax. Let me get that out the way. This is a story about a Brazilian wax. And if you know, like what those entail. But I'm gonna tell you anyway, how mine was terrible, okay? So I've been getting wax for so long. And this happened like a while ago when I was in law school. And at that point, maybe I had been getting wax for 5 or 6 years at that point, right? And so I go as normal to European Wax Center, and normally I have my dedicated waxer that I like, but I had just moved to the specific area in DC, and the closest wax center to me, I didn't know, like, you know, who was the good person who to go to yet. So I called in advance like normal, expecting them as normal to do what I ask when I say, hey, like, who is your level red waxer? That's what I always ask, because those are the experienced waxers. So I do that, and they're like, oh, we don't do that. We don't allow you to, or we don't tell you who the waxer's levels or whatever. And I'm like, you're lying, because I've been with European Wax Center for how long now, and you've always told me and allowed me to book with them. But whatever, right? I'm not tripping. I say, cool. Just give me the next available waxer. So I take whoever that is, and I head over, right? I head over to European Wax Center, and it was the biggest mistake of my life, okay? So anyway, so I get there. Like I said, I'm getting a Brazilian. So first and foremost, not only does she do like 30 strips on my little, 30 strips, like practically tearing my skin off. That's not even the worst part, okay? The worst part is to come. So I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm sitting here. At this point, it's probably taking her 20 minutes to do just these 30 strips. Mind you, with my level red waxers, I'm out of there, Brazilian and armpits, in 15 minutes, sometimes less, okay? So she's taking forever, and then she says, get on all fours. Y'all, okay, I said, huh? Like, I was genuinely confused. I was like, what do you mean, like, get on all fours? She's like, get on all fours. And I'm like, like turn around? She's like, yeah, like turn around and get on all fours. So I said, okay. So I turn around, and she's like a dog, get on all fours like a dog. And I'm like, okay. So I do that, and I'm thinking this is the end of it, right? She's gonna do the butt strip, like whatever, call it a day. Mind you, I was already shocked because I've never had anyone say get on all fours. But anyway, so then she says, spread your butt cheeks. Y'all, when I tell you the level of violation, I felt so violated, okay? I was like, spread, So I did it, obviously, because I wanted my butt strip done. I spread my butt cheeks, whatever. And she does it, and I'm just like, this, oh my gosh, I will never. But please tell me, is that normal? Like, well, I know it's not normal. None of my waxers have ever done that to me before. She was the very first one. And like I said, I've been getting waxed for so long. Normally, it's a simple knees to chest. Simple knees to chest. Not spread your butt cheeks, get on all fours. None of that nonsense. So has that ever happened to you? Because I felt so violated. When I tell you, oh my goodness, like, I was like, wow, after that experience. Has that happened to any of you before?
I can't reach my hole. So I was like, just wax that for me, and we're actually good off this service. So I've been going to European Wax Center, I want to say since 2020. I know a lot of people have their stipulations against European Wax Center, but it's always worked for me because I've found 2 waxers in my time there that have been like godsend for me, great waxers. So the first waxer that I had, sadly, she left. She opened up her own spot. I did go to her spot for a little bit, but because she got pregnant, the scheduling just wasn't working for me. And I'm someone who consistently gets waxes like every single month. Once a month, I'm there on time every 3 or 4 weeks out, depending on my growth. Luckily, when I went back to my European Wax Center location, I had another black girl, and she was great. So I'm like, great, we back at it. I'm buying wax passes. The wax passes where you pay a bulk of money for your waxes, and it comes out less than what you would be paying if you came every month. And it's usually for the consistent customers. So I got my wax pass. It goes around like $500 or whatever, but then your waxes are free for the year. April was the last time I saw my girl. She didn't give me any heads up about her leaving, so I'm not sure if she got fired or let go or something happened. I don't know. All I know is when May came around, my birthday trip, I was about to go, well, I went in to go get my wax for my trip. She was not there. What am I gonna do? I'm about to be on a beach the next day. I cannot have this, tumbleweed down here. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm gonna just brave it and I'm gonna go because I'm not using a razor down there. My body can't do it. Maybe an electric razor, but I wanted that shit shiny like a bull head. Personality was nice. I'm like, all right, I'm chilling. I'm good. So she puts down the first strip. They use hard wax at European Wax Center. So she puts down the first strip and the first one hurts. Now, my pain tolerance is really high, so I didn't really think much of it. Also, I pushed back my wax to be closer to my vacation. So I'm like, okay, that it's supposed to hurt a little bit because it's been a little while or whatever. Now, when the second and third still gave me like this uncomfortable pain, I'm just like, ooh, okay, maybe she's just doesn't have that flick of the wrist, not totally seasoned where things are just coming up super smooth. And she asked me if I'm hot. Now, usually I know when I'm hot because this is not a foreign question. Some people's body temperature is just with the anxiety of the pull, the anxiety of being in there. Summertime, you're already hot from outside. Maybe you are rushing. You can warm up. And when you warm up, it makes the wax not really adhere to the skin. To the point where I don't even lotion before my waxes. All I do is shower, I exfoliate, and I don't put lotion on the area where I'm waxing because you want your wax area to be as dry as possible to get a very, very clean wax. That's why they put baby powder on you. They're trying to pull out all the moisture. I was like, I'm good. She was like, yeah, I feel like the temperature in here is really warm, blah, blah, blah. Trying to place the blame of she knew the wax wasn't coming off the way she wanted to on me. And I'm just like, no, I think I'm pretty good. It was at this point where I felt like she's taking part of my coochie off, where I'm just like, okay, what's going on? And again, she puts the blame on, oh, I think you might be a little hot. I'm not hot. Now I'm getting hot because I'm like, what's going on down there? I can't really see. I got a fupa. My fupa blocks my coochie. I cannot see it too much. I feel her literally picking pieces of wax off of me. So I'm like, okay, her wax is not getting hard all the way. So I asked her, I was like, maybe you want to turn your wax pot up a little bit. Maybe it's not maybe the pearls and everything isn't all totally melted. You need your wax to be at, that right temperature so that when you spread it on, it's nice and smooth, but then it dries really crisp. Maybe it's just not drying, because she kept telling me it's not drying all the way through the middle and it's because my body is too warm. And I'm like, no, maybe your wax pot needs to be turned up. I'm not the type of person to be like, oh, I went to school for aesthetics. I know that, I don't do that to people. You're the professional right now. I'm not. I'm a client. But this is the advice that I'm offering. Now, I don't know about you, but the lip, that's the one. That's the part where you kind of got to brace yourself. And when I tell you, I thought my coochie lip was gone. First of all, when she tugged it, it did not come all the way off. And then she had to tug again to get it off. I thought I was going to die. I really thought, when I got back in the car with my boyfriend, I told him my coochie lip is gone. There's no lip there. This service, we can't finish this. And, I felt bad. She was like, yeah, but I just have the other lip in this other area. I was like, yeah, no. So I told her, I literally can't take this pain right now. Now I'm hot. Now I'm sweating. Now I'm agitated. I'm sore. I'm feeling weird. I'm thinking about my vacation. I'm thinking about, I don't want to be hairy on vacation. I know she kind of already got my bikini area a little bit. I didn't really look at it. The fact that I knew I would have to go home and probably touch up on an electric razor, I can't reach my hole. So, I was like, just wax that for me and we're actually good off this service. And I don't even look in the mirror. I just wanted to get out of there. I get to the front and they're like, was everything okay? And I was just like, no, I actually didn't finish my service. And they were like, oh my God, what happened? Did you want to finish up with a different waxer? I said, honestly, I'm very sore down there. I don't think I can actually physically finish with another waxer. And they were like, do you want us to put you on with somebody else, someone who usually doesn't take as long? The fact that y'all knew that she takes long, did no one go try to figure out why she takes long? maybe she had a bad day. I don't want to totally discredit her, but nobody wanted to look. Did anyone stand over her when she was getting hired or anything? But they didn't charge me for my service. Well, they didn't use one of my wax passes, so I still have that wax pass. But I'm at the point where it's June now. Obviously, I'm due for a wax in maybe like next week or the week after, which is why I even spoke about this. And I'm a little traumatized. Like, I'm just like, I don't really want to go, but I already paid for these wax passes. I gotta see if there's a way to get a refund, but just thank God I still have both of my coochie lips.
I got a Brazilian wax and they completely messed me up and waxed my lips shut. And for those of you that don't know what a Brazilian wax is when they wax your vagina. So at the time I was pregnant and my hair was thicker than ever because I was taking prenatals. Not to mention the fact that I had not shaved in forever because I had really bad vomiting like the first 4 or 5 months of my pregnancy. So I literally didn't go out anywhere and I was nothing but on bed rest, okay? Let me just say that I've gotten Brazilian wax before that Brazilian wax and it's always been smooth and it's always been perfect. But this time, oh my God, this time I swear I left crying and bleeding. So I come into my appointment and everything is fine. I go ahead and sit down. I take my underwear off and I get in position. For those of you that got a Brazilian wax, it's like a really weird butterfly position with your legs completely open, lips out in the air. So normally they do things in strip and they never wax your lip shut. It's literally one side of the lip and then the other side of the lip and go so forth. Like they have a whole way of doing things. This girl, I'm trusting that it's going to go as always because I've got a Brazilian wax a million times before. I'm trusting that it's going to go the way it always goes. But this woman... So I'm just looking up like this and she tells me, oh, you're pregnant? And I'm like, yes, I am pregnant. And she's like, oh, well, I just want to let you know that you're going to be more sensitive than usual because you're pregnant. And I'm like, okay, cool, you know, whatever. This woman, knowing that I'm going to be more sensitive than usual because I was pregnant, tell me why she gets all the wax and she puts it on my whole coochie from top to my a-hole. Okay, and let me tell you something. I was the hairiest that I've ever been. Okay, and I'm talking bush, girl. And I'm not talking hairy. I'm talking bush. Okay, she puts the wax all the way down to my crack. All the way down. And I kind of noticed that my whole vagina is hot. And I'm like, wait, what's going on? And I was like, hey, I just want to know, are you doing it in strips or how are you doing it? And she's like, oh, well, every wax girl does it differently. Everyone has their own way of waxing. And I'm like, did you just wax it all? Girl, my lips were waxed shut. There was no air able to come in or out of my lips, okay? I was like, so how's this gonna work? And she's like, well, I'm just gonna pull it all off. And I'm like, girl. Honestly, at this point, I wanted to cry. I was up looking at the ceiling like, oh my God, please help me. Like, this is it. I'm gonna die. This is it. At that point, I told her, is there any way to take it off? And she told me there's no way, like, you just have to rip it off. That's the only way that we can do it. And I'm like, oh my God. So at that point, I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. And I told her, if I kick you, it's your fault. She rips it off and she literally leaves me bleeding, okay? And I was so sore and so bruised that when I walked out, I was in pain, in actual pain. Wearing pants, underwear was painful. And I had never experienced that before in my life. And my whole thing is, if you knew I was a pregnant woman, I was going to be more sensitive. Why would you do that to me?